Every time I see someone with a huge following on Instagram or any social media for that matter, I'm like, how did they get that many followers? And how are they making money from it? Well, wonder no more, Timbo, because today's guests, Stephanie Claire-Smith and Laura Henshaw, have a combined Instagram following of over 1.3 million people, which they've turned into multiple revenue streams. Everything from an eBook to a health food brand with 21 products to bikinis and sunglasses. Keen to know how they've done it? I certainly am. Hey, before we get stuck into episode 414 of the Small Business Big Marketing Show, the Marketing Gold is made exclusively possible thanks to our partners in American Express. I say exclusively because for the last few weeks and the next couple of weeks, Amex has kindly taken all available advertising spots. So do yourself a favour and check out their suite of business cards designed to meet the financial needs of small business owners just like you. You might even find yourself accumulating a few points that allows you to take a little holiday for you and your better half. Because you work hard, right? Simply Google Amex Business to find out more.
Well, I said, welcome to a small business marketing show, where successful small business owners share their souls to take your marketing straight to the lead. Now, here's your host, Mr. Timbo Reid.
And welcome back to the Small Business Big Marketing Show. I'm your host, Timbo Reid. You, infinitely more importantly, are a motivated business owner ready to crank out some great marketing to build that beautiful business of yours into the empire it deserves to be. Big show today. We catch up with Laura Henshaw and Stephanie Claire-Smith, two 24-year-old entrepreneurs who have turned their Instagram fame into some serious businesses. And two more lucky listeners share what marketing is working for them, and in return, I give them a prize or two. As per usual, team, there is marketing GOLD dripping from the ceiling over here at Small Business Big Marketing's HQ. So let's get stuck right in. Hey, you and I will be meeting some amazing business owners and marketers over the coming weeks. We'll catch up with ex-Buddhist monk turned small business owner Clark Scott and Michael Philippou, an ex-London lawyer who decided that setting up a frozen treat shop in Santa Monica, Los Angeles would be a much better way to make a living. Great stories ahead, guys. But that brings us to today's guests. And a big thank you to my personal trainer, Danny Kennedy, for introducing me to them, to Stephanie Claire-Smith and Laura Henshaw, two 24-year-old Melbourne-based entrepreneurs who have built some significant businesses and revenue streams from their Instagram fame. Now, Stephanie has 1.3 million followers. Laura, who is also a part-time law student, has 160,000 followers. Together, they've created the Kick Girls brand, which includes a hugely successful online training program for young women, along with the Keep It Cleaner range of health food products available in supermarkets nationally. On top of that, Stephanie's launched a bikini brand called Midnight Co. and a sunglasses brand called Soda Shades, and is also an ambassador for Clinique and Bondi Sands. Nuts! What were you doing when you were 24? I know what I was doing. I was just being, just playing, really. Party boy. If you ever wondered how to grow and monetize a social media following, then you're going to love this chat. And by the way, I'm joined by my beautiful, beautiful daughter, Stephanie, who kept me in line and who asked the hard questions that I didn't even think of. I started off by asking Stephanie, that's Stephanie Claire-Smith, the Instagrammer, what her ambitions were when she started out on Instagram.
Ambition-wise, I didn't really have much thought of that through Instagram, to be honest. I just started it much like anyone else. I kind of thought it was just an app to filter my photos at first. I didn't realise it was so public. So, I had no idea that it was going to grow the way it has. It was probably about a year into it that the numbers in my following started to grow pretty insane.
How long ago was this?
Oh, I started Instagram 5.5 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Long time ago.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's been a nice steady
So you were about
growth.
7.
I don't look that young, do I?
Sorry. Laura, what about you? What was your ambition?
I started mine a bit later. Mine was just as a personal page, basically, and I used it to follow other fitness accounts.
Right.
But then a few years into it, I suppose, when we became friends, we started to realise that it was a really great marketing platform. So then that's why we put a lot of effort into growing it.
What was the realisation?
Oh, I think people are really engaged on Instagram with what you do. It's different to any other platform. It's different to Facebook. I think on Instagram, because you choose to follow that person, it's not like normal advertising, because when you see an ad on TV, you see it, but you didn't choose to watch it. It just comes up. But on Instagram, you're actually choosing to see these people, so you trust them. And we kind of realised that, especially Steph, it's incredible how much inspiration, like people look up to you so much, and that's what we found. And so then from there we thought, well, that's where we started.
Right.
Like, why don't we? And with Steph was getting so many questions about what do you eat and what's your workout and all of those things. And so that was when it was like, oh, well, this could be a business.
Oh, there you go. I
Yeah.
like that. My daughter, Stephanie, who is joining us here.
Hello.
Lovely to have you here, Steph. You think this is a really lame question, but your old man dad has to ask it. Why Instagram and not Facebook?
I just never, to be honest, when I was on Facebook throughout high school and stuff like that, I never looked at it as a marketing platform. I just purely saw it as a place that I could share my photos and update my friends with where I was at and all that sort of stuff. And then when Instagram came out, was when it was kind of like, okay, well, maybe I'll keep my Facebook private so that I have got something private, and my Instagram can grow into something like more of a marketing kind of platform. So I don't know why, but I feel like I'm a much more visual person myself anyway.
Clearly the right decision.
Yeah, clearly.
It's not as accessible, Facebook, I don't think.
Yeah.
I think on Instagram you really have access to everything in our life. But on Facebook, I don't feel the same connection with people as I do on Instagram.
But is that an observation around the medium and not around what you're putting on the medium? Not about the medium?
I mean, now you can do stories on Facebook,
Yes.
but before you couldn't.
So just explain that, because you are talking not to people like you.
Yeah,
Yes,
of course.
on the show,
Of
right?
course, yeah, of course.
On Instagram.
And a bigger question there is, what makes a really effective Instagram account? And part of that is stories. So over to you.
Yeah, for sure. Well, a story is basically like any account can, throughout the day, put up photos and video, and it's up for 24 hours, basically. So
That's
you can
it.
click on an icon and you can literally watch our day. Some people put up one post. Some people literally put up their whole day in a story. And
Steph, honestly, how many?
well, yesterday was a lot. Yeah, some days I'm very on and I just feel like talking a lot, or there just might be a lot on that I want to share. Other days it's like, oh, how cute's my dog?
Right.
So it's
You the same, Claire?
Laura, yes.
Do you know how our names get mixed up at stuff?
Yeah, I'm the same. I think it's a really great platform because people really get to see, and that's what people want to see on social media, is they want to see you and they want to be able to, what I think the reason that our business has been so successful is because we are so relatable. We don't just post polished, glossy, and I know the podcast you did last week that I listened to with the man from MTV.
Yeah. Jules Watkins.
He was saying don't do glossy video, and we could not agree anymore with that. The more relatable and real it is, the more accessible it is to people, and the more they want to engage with
I'm
you.
going to challenge you on this, Steph.
Sure.
Don't my daughter, she give me the eye.
Be cool.
Your videos, they're fairly relatable.
Yep.
I'm going out on a limb here. Be nice to me, Stephanie.
Yeah.
Your photos are relatively relatable.
Yeah.
I feel like yours are less so. They're beautiful.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of work being done on them.
Yeah, no, so especially if you looked at my page right now, I've still got a lot of modelling photos going on, and I've still got a lot of goals inside the modelling industry. So I still have to keep that kind of content going.
Little
100%.
agenda going on.
Yeah. But I still, all of my stories are untouched.
Are real.
Yeah.
Do you
and
reckon they're relatable, Steph?
Like, to an extent, but obviously we're in completely, like, I'm a 17-year-old girl and
Yeah,
you
of
guys
course.
are, like, 24,
Yep.
working women. But, like, to, like, an extent. But, like, how do you feel like you can keep your Instagram real?
Yep.
And, like, how do you keep it relatable?
Yep.
Do you find that, like, through Instagram stories or...?
Yeah, Instagram stories is probably the easiest and quickest way for me to do that. And
Keeping it real.
Yeah, trying. And it's also, like, I'm not afraid to put up post now and then, which we have done in the past, where it might be a comparison photo of like, oh, hey, this was me when I was 17. When I was actually really, really tiny when I was 17, and I've gone through quite a lot of different issues over the past, and I may be 10 kilos heavier than I am now, and I like to open up about stuff like that and my real side of stories of how I've got to where I am now. I suppose that's how I like to be relatable. And I'm not afraid to show if I've got a pimple or that I have stretch marks.
So you're relatable. Your production value is very high, but your story is very relatable. It's very real.
Yeah.
Okay, so I get that. Okay, I
You
get
have
that.
to have, I think the biggest thing that Steph does really well and we try and do with Keep It Cleaner is it has to be a balance between aspirational and relatable.
100%.
Because if it's no one wants to follow an everyday person to start with, they're not going to get any followers. So you still have to have the aspirational aspect to get them engaged, and then we show that we're real. So it's a really hard balance, and I hope that we're achieving it, but it is something that there's no perfect balance, but it has to be aspirational and relatable. It can't be too much of either. It has to be both.
Yeah, I agree.
Other ways of making sure you set up an Instagram account so that it will have a return on your investment, whatever that may be?
I suppose know your brand. I think that's the biggest mistake I see people make, is that they make these accounts and sometimes they do fashion and then they might do like the fitness and they'll do something else and then they'll post a car.
They lose their voice.
What are you doing? You have to know your brand and stick to it. So if your thing is fashion, that's what you should post. If your thing is lifestyle, post about lifestyle. But I think it's knowing your brand.
Yeah.
Right.
What people want to see. And if you're like some of our friends do really beautiful style accounts, they don't really post much of their face. They just post really nice pictures. Their pictures always have to be nice, and that's you have to keep with
People
the colour
follow
grade
them
and everything.
for that aesthetic look.
Exactly.
They don't follow them for the relatable side of life.
That's exactly right.
So it's and it's really also is another big tip is to not try and copy anybody.
Exactly.
Try and find your own unique way of doing it, because if you're going to try and mimic someone else's page, why would someone follow either of you?
Sure.
Why would they follow both of you if you're doing the same thing, sort of thing? So
But, how did you figure out your style? Because I think a lot of people go into Instagram being like, okay, I want to, increase my followers, but they still don't know, so they sort of dapple in everything. How did you guys figure out, I want to do fitness, for this?
Yeah. Well, I mean, for me, I was lucky, as I said, my Instagram started growing 5 years ago. So it's been a very steady thing. I've never really felt like I had to really try and get a lot of followers all at once. It was just happening and I didn't even know why. But for me, I really fell in love with healthy living. And so whenever it came to jobs or promotional things where I was talking about fashion or anything else, it didn't come as naturally to me. Whereas if I was on a job, like a fitness job or food or anything like that, I was really passionate about it. So I loved talking about it, and posting about it's just easier because it's a part of who I am. Yeah. So that's where I targeted more to that. In saying that, I still do love fashion and everything else, so I do like to keep it on my page because people have been following me for a number of different things over the years, so it's hard to just be like, okay, well, now I'm all food and fitness, because there is still people out there who still love to see my modelling work, still want to know what beauty products I'm using, all that sort of stuff. So for me, it's a bit different because I'm a personal account that just happens to have a lot of followers.
Yeah.
For Keep It Cleaner, obviously, our idea is to keep it all about healthy living, balance and happiness.
Now, I am going to come clean here.
Sure.
This podcast is 9 years old.
Yep.
It's had a Facebook page, Small Business Big Marketing, for probably not that entire time. It's got 7,000 followers or something like that. I'm really underwhelmed by it. Facebook aren't very kind to Facebook pages anymore. They seem to kind of...
You have to pay for
everything. You've got to pay for everything, right?
Yes.
I get that. But I am underwhelmed, and I know why I'm underwhelmed, because I'm a bit like the plumber with the squeaky tap. I mean, I post, hey, there's a new episode out, or, we're doing a Facebook Live at the moment. That gets a bit of traction. But I am underwhelmed by the amount of followers, because, by the way, and it sounds like I'm boasting, but it's the number one podcast in Australia around marketing.
Yes.
And it's on Virgin.
That's very impressive.
Well, it is, and I don't say that. I say that to impress you, but I also say because I feel like I too should have 1 million followers.
Yes.
What are we, and I say we, there's a lot of small business owners going, yeah, man, I'm so frustrated by my social media, lack of activity, lack of engagement. What do you say?
I think you have to add value. I think that's the biggest thing as a business. You have to offer something to people why they're going to follow you, because they're not just going to follow a page because you post every week and say, we have a new podcast live. You would need to...
Because they'd be following the podcasts over the Facebook.
So I suppose you have to add more value than you do on the podcast. So maybe when people come in, you could do a 1-minute video with them and they could do their top 5 marketing tips.
Or like a quick Q&A or something like that. And then that can be on your Facebook. And then you've got something else on your Facebook that's getting people there other than the podcast.
See, I love you guys already. What would I know about marketing? That's why I get others in.
It's good.
You with me?
No, but like, where do you draw the line between posting what you want to post, or do you guys post what other people want you to post, if you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's definitely something we've both had to draw the line on, for sure. As soon as we knew with Keep It Cleaner and when we became really passionate about our girls and everything like that, and having that trust from someone else, you really have to not play with that, and we don't anymore, for sure. We both get offers nearly every day of things to post, whether it's paid or not or gifted. Yeah. Every day we get new offers, and it's one of those things where we decided that definitely you have to post what you truly love, what you truly use, what you believe in, not just, oh, here's a big paycheck, can you chuck it on your socials?
That must be hard.
It can be, but
what's the
now
hardest
it's not.
one you've said no to? Laura?
I don't know. I can't remember something. I don't actually. If it's not on brand, I think the thing is now we can see it, and it's really important to look for us at the bigger picture. And we've built this trust with our following, and we hope that we have a lot of integrity. And so, if a $5,000 post comes through, you know, that's amazing. But then we think, okay, so if we actually post this, all the trust that it takes 5 years to build trust, and you can lose it in a moment. That would be a very hard decision
to make, and absolutely lose it in a moment.
Yeah. So we have to think long term, I suppose.
Yeah, no, it's definitely it's exactly the same.
Is there a biggie you want to share that you've said no to?
As in number wise or like client wise?
Whatever's big to you.
Oh, well, I mean, in the past there's, I'm not afraid to say it, there's been a job where for one post I was offered $15,000.
Yep.
Which is
oh my goodness.
But you know what it was for? It was for a skinny tee, which is something that is completely out of
our brand, something we completely disagree with. So it was a big fat no. But to some other girls who obviously may not have a business like Keep It Cleaner, they would have obviously jumped on that.
So this whole social, we had Jules London here a few months ago from Tribe talking about social influence. Now, back in fact, it was about 12 months ago. Back then, it was particularly big, and it was just kind of becoming big, right? And everyone was out there, hashtag ambassador, and here I am driving a Range Rover, but I don't really have a Range Rover. They just gave it to me for the weekend. Are we now at the point where people see through that?
Yes, definitely. Right. I would say so. Would you,
100%.
Steph, as a consumer, as someone who might follow us, you've seen through that by now?
Well, it's so hard because I follow probably a lot of people similar to your YouTubers, that kind of stuff. And when I see them posting, someone I follow was posting about a Range Rover, and I'm thinking she was a YouTuber, appeals to a lot of 17-year-olds, and I'm thinking it's just not the demographic to we're not going to go, we're going to go get a Range Rover because this person has it.
No, of course.
It's not in our sort of price range, but yeah, it's easy to see through in those sort of things. Yeah, definitely.
And I think that's the brand too. The brand needs to be so that the brand some brands, I think they're now learning more.
They are, for sure.
We'll still get emails from people saying, hey, I've got this fitness app. Do you guys want to promote it? We love what you do. Well, number one, you don't know what we do then because we have a fitness app. And I'll probably spell my name wrong or something like that. But I think that's up to the brand, and then it's up to the influencer to decide if they're going to post about it or not. And I'm a mover, sorry.
I suppose it's also, though, as you said earlier, the aspirational side of it. So obviously a 17-year-old is not going to go out and buy a Range Rover, but this influencer is worked really hard.
This one will try to.
Yeah, no worries.
I'm not saying I don't want to.
But this influencer's worked really hard, obviously. It's gotten to a position in their life where they are working with an awesome brand like Land Rover, and it's how you look at it, really. Yeah. That's pretty exciting in itself.
What do you say? And there's a lot of small business owners listening who are tossing around the idea of, I'm going to get some social influencers. I only spoke to one yesterday, a friend of mine, Jackie, who's got this wonderful wonderful new idea, and she approached it's personalised baby. Kids can personalise pencil cases and all that online, right? It's a great idea.
I used to love doing that to the old-fashioned ones that you get.
Yes.
Yeah, the ones that you
Who do you
slip.
have?
Oh, you get it Office
Swiftie?
Works?
Yeah, and you
Some of
like
my friends still have them and you put like your
You put
name.
their
you
names
put
in
the
there.
letters in.
It's good.
You put your name in. Gotcha.
Yeah, right.
So she approached a social influencer up in Brisbane who was going to. She said, "I'll come down and represent your brand and be at the opening at David Jones." She wanted some exorbitant amount of money to fly her husband and 2 kids down as well,
Yeah.
and. It was a sort of like she ended up not doing it. But what do you say to the business owners listening who are thinking of paying social influencers a bit of dough to get some exposure?
Really do your research on
research on who. Sometimes we see people posting for things and we just think, oh my goodness. And because we're so lucky now that we are also a brand, so we know we've sent things to people, we know what the return is, and we also are on the other side as well. It's important to make sure that the people that you're sending your products to, their audience actually wants to know about it. I think just recently I'm working with quite a big business and they were talking about engaging someone with a fashion following and it's more of a health business. And my response to that was, why? And they said, because we want to access the new market. But you can't just access a new market because fashion followers are not interested. So they will just scroll through. So that's probably one of the biggest things is to do research. And also when they contact influencers, don't ask for things. I think if someone sends a really nice email, personalised, and they show that they've actually done research into who you are.
Yeah, 100%.
So if they spell your name wrong, if someone spells their name wrong and say they love me, I
very likely
probably
to.
don't reply to it because I'm like,
right.
You didn't even know my
What if
name.
they spell your name right, Laura? Just out of interest. Hey?
Or if they call me Claire, no.
You say, love you too. So just talking about that. So on your posts, you're getting an exorbitant, is that a word? Amount of comments, right?
Yes.
A lot of comments.
Yeah.
Sometimes thousands. Tens of thousands.
Sometimes.
I've looked at some of them. Some of them are pretty ordinary.
Yeah,
So,
we try and filter out as much as possible.
what, delete them?
Yeah.
Because I've been through a couple of your posts and you haven't deleted them. I'm not going to even say what some people
some
said.
of them are very crude.
So what do you... 2 questions. Do you try and respond to every comment? And how do you manage the negative ones?
I certainly, on my personal page, certainly don't try and reply to every comment.
You couldn't?
It's just, no.
Okay.
I couldn't. I do read them, though, and I appreciate every positive one. It's really beautiful what people write and take the time to write. The negative ones, it depends what angle. So if they are attacking me or anyone else in the picture, or it's potentially going to hurt someone else's feelings, then I'll just block them and delete it straight away. If they're being disgusting, I'll block and delete it straight away. Obviously, there's some I miss,
Right.
just because I haven't gone back
Laura?
to the photo.
Well, I have less followers than Steph, so my comments are manageable. I can reply to them. And
You sad about that?
No.
But I think Laura also, because of the way that her followers have grown, are very much like, I would say 90% of your following is like 100% engaged in what she is doing, as in like they're 100% into the health and fitness, 100% into Laura, whereas a lot of my followers just follow me for some nice photos.
Oh, that's interesting. So of the 250,000 or so followers, there's little wastage. If someone wanted to target a group of people who are interested in health and fitness...
Yeah, I've got 150. So I think, but now for us, I mean, I used to really care about growing it, and now we're at a point where, and also brands look at engagement. They don't look at followers really as much anymore. And if they are still looking at followers, they need to reassess what they're doing. It's all about engagement. Yeah. And for me,
define engagement.
So it's how much people respond and respond with your photo, I suppose, and engage with your photo. Yeah. So if we post a photo, it gets 10 likes, or someone posts a photo, it gets 10 likes, no comments, but they have 100,000 followers, they've probably bought their followers.
Yes.
But then someone might post, for example, more of a lifestyle account that posts about a product. That's going to have usually less engagement and less sales conversions, because people post or follow that, I think, is more of an aspirational. Yeah. Whereas if a personal page like Steph, where people love and get to know Steph, posts about a product, people trust Steph, they love her, they love watching her life, and they're like, oh my God, I want to eat this because Steph eats it. But if it's more of an aspirational page, I don't think the conversion is as good for things like that.
I'm going to digress here. Steph, serious question.
Yes.
As a father of 3 teenagers and a heavy user of social media myself, and reading about social media, mental health is an issue amongst the world, right? I have a view that social media really feeds, negatively feeds mental health.
Yeah.
Because we see the best of people's lives.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And it's like, geez, I wish I could be like that. Now, I look at your Instagram, to a lesser extent yours, Laura, and I'm going, wow, that's just like, as a young girl and my daughter, Steph, chip in here, I'm never going to get there. I'm not going to make that. And you walk away 3 hours later, your eyes are watering and you're like completely down on yourself.
Yeah. Well, no. And there's no way.
You probably do that to other people's.
Me not
Instagram
100%.
too. Yeah.
100%. I mean, I used to follow people who had 10,000 followers and I was like, who is this person? That's amazing. And like they're going on all these cool things. So I was 100% once there and I still do. But it is something that we share a lot, Laura more so than myself, but it's something that we do open up about is that I'm not going to chuck up a photo. Here's Monday. I got a pimple today. Just so you know. Tuesday, I cried because my boyfriend left. Thursday, oh, God, Ari pooed on the carpet. Now I've got to clean it up all afternoon.
Ari's your dog.
Yeah.
Which I love because Ari Gold is my favourite character.
Yeah, well, that's why we named him that. So it's just one of those things where, again, as Laura said earlier, the whole aspirational side of it, I really do try and keep it real. And as I said before, I try to do it as much as I can in my stories because that's where I can do it.
Cool.
On the spot.
Okay.
But I still try and keep it aspirational and we try and remind people that there is still stuff going on in our lives.
Definitely. And I think, Steph, Adam, if you look at any other follower with 1.3 million, I really would challenge you to find someone who is as real as Steph with that many followers. If you watch her stories every day, like there's girls that only speak with a filter. There's not many accounts with 1.3 million followers that will share a photo and say, hey, here's my cellulite, I have it. So while your account is aspirational, it's definitely also, I think that Steph's account is very real. Definitely.
Cool.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yep.
What's been the most surprising outcome of your Instagram journey so far, Laura?
Oh, our business.
Yeah. Okay.
The fact we have Coles products.
Yeah.
Love it. Well, great segue.
so
We'll go there.
Yeah.
And you would agree, Steph?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, both of you.
Stephs,
So before I want to get into business, if, however, Instagram disappeared tomorrow, which it is unlikely, but it's possible.
Oh, 100%.
What is very likely is that they change the rules because Facebook changed the rules all the time.
Yeah.
And they're about to change the rules a lot more given what's going on with,
of course.
that whole thing.
Yeah.
Cambridge Analytica or whatever it's called. So you rely so heavily, and we're about to find out how heavily because we're going to talk business in a minute.
Yep.
What's going to happen to you guys? Probing question, Timbo. Before we find out the girls' answers, here's a business tip thanks to our exclusive partner, American Express. Here's a money-making tip from American Express member and Four Pillars Gin founder, Stu Gregor.
I, for the life of me, don't understand why a business won't accept Amex because what you're potentially doing is knocking back customers who want to spend money on your product or your brand or your service or whatever it is. And I frankly don't understand it. If someone wants to give me their Amex and buy 10 bottles of gin, I'll tell you what, I'll take their Amex, thanks very much. You're potentially also denying yourself a big chunk of corporate business as well. You know, because a lot of sales guys, a lot of guys, I know me in my own business, I use Amex. And if I go to, if I ring to make a booking at a restaurant or a bar or something, I say, do you accept Amex? And they say no, I go somewhere else. So they don't even know the business they're missing out on. It beggars belief. And I often find myself having these rather awkward conversations at the with a shopkeeper or a bar owner or a restaurateur saying, why wouldn't you take it? I'll pay you the extra, I'll pay 1.5, the credit card service fee or whatever you want. Take my money.
It's Business 101, really. Make it easy for people to give you money. Speaking of money, the American Express Business Explorer credit card comes with 50,000 bonus points every year, a low interest rate, and 2 points on every dollar you spend. Not to mention a couple of tickets to the very swish Amex Lounge at Sydney International Airport. Search Amex Business to find out more. New American Express card members only. Terms and conditions apply. And now, back to Stephanie and Laura, who were about to tell us what they think would happen to their businesses if Instagram disappeared.
I don't think we rely that heavily on Instagram. I know it's our main marketing platform, but we're really lucky, and that's something that's been really important to us. It's not just about, that's why we don't really care about our followers anymore. It's not about that anymore. It's about the community that we've built with our Kit Girls, and it's about the business that we've built with Keep It Cleaner. And we know, and I know if Instagram got deleted tomorrow, there's going to be something else, and we're going to be on there, and we're going to make sure that our girls follow us. And I think that
100%.
is what we've done. I think that if our Instagram got deleted, it wouldn't affect our business.
I'm not sure about that, but I wouldn't actually know.
It would affect it in the slight way that it's one of the best marketing places for us right now. That's why. 100%. But the way that we stretched ourselves over so many different things, like our groceries products and our program being online and for everything else, and YouTube and Facebook, we'll be fine.
Cool.
Yeah.
We are talking to, I didn't know how to describe you, so I've said Instagrammers come entrepreneurs, Stephanie Claire-Smith and Laura Henshaw. Let's talk business.
Sure.
So the best thing that's happened to you as a result of being on Instagram is that it started a whole lot of businesses for you. How did you make your first dollar from Instagram?
From Instagram, that was probably before Keep It Cleaner. That was probably just one of my first paid posts, which was... it's actually probably with Bondi Sands, someone I've been signed with for about 5 years through modelling, but then they caught on to social media pretty quickly, and they were probably the first people that I posted for, and I still do to this day.
Cool. What about you, Laura?
Oh, I can't remember.
Your first dollar?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
It's really hard to think about.
I don't know.
Okay.
I have no idea. I think it would have been $25.
It would have been
or something like that.
Love it.
Yeah.
That'd be the best, probably $25 you've ever made.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
When was the moment you decided that you'd hit critical mass and that you must start your first business?
Well, when we first started the Keep It Cleaner kind of journey, it wasn't all about money for us. It was, as Laura said earlier, I was getting a lot of questions about what I was eating. Laura at the time had a food blog, food and health lifestyle blog.
Oh, you were blogging?
She was, a couple of years ago, and she was putting a lot of really great recipes up online. And we'd both been modelling overseas for a while, and she came back, and we just brought up this idea of making an ebook, which was Keep It Clean, which was our first ebook. And we were expecting nothing from it. We were just kind of, a few of you are asked what our diet's like and what we put in our food, this is what it is. And it sold so well that we were like, okay, we'd be silly not to do something more with this.
How are you selling it? Did you create a landing page or something?
On website. We had a website.
Yeah.
And that was Kit Girls?
No, it was keepitcleaner.com.au. Yeah, so Kit Girls came after that. So our ebook...
Well, actually, our ebook was on my website first.
Yes, it was. It was on stephclaresmith.com.au.
So Laura kept her blog going for a little bit, but it became more about fitness and stuff, and she kept the recipes for the book, and the book was being sold on my random website. Yep. And then, when we saw it going really well, we created Keep It Cleaner
Every business owner has this story of where they've just put something out to the market and it might not have been the most polished.
And it definitely was not polished.
Oh my God. We've shot with proper food, we know.
Great learnings here.
I mean, at the time, we had no idea. We shot 37 recipes in one day, and no one does that. We shot with a fashion photographer. We didn't have food styles. We did it all ourselves.
We used artificial lighting,
everything.
Not natural.
We had to use a flash because we shot all day. Our banana bread I had made 3 days before because we did not have time to make them all in the day. So it's slimy.
It was gross.
In the photo.
It looks so bad. And so the imagery looks like it's been taken by a 12-year-old. But then not to mention, once we launched it that night, my mum messaged us with about 30 spelling mistakes.
Great.
So
we had,
there was ingredients missing. It was pretty intense.
We
just did it. And that's why I think the thing for us, and the girls shared it, because you found so obviously in the health space it's extremely saturated. There's so many people in it. Our differentiating factor was that we were so real and our recipes were so easy, and we were so used to recipes where, there's 300 ingredients and you have to go to the health store and spend $300 to make a slice. It doesn't work. But girls were making our recipes, and their creation looks better than our photo. So they wanted to share it. And I think that's what made our book so successful.
For sure.
So just to be clear, Instagram's going along beautifully. People are wanting more of you. Mm-hmm. You two go, we'll create an ebook with a whole lot of recipes, the stuff we eat, because that's what people are after. What do you guys, the questions that you were getting.
Yeah.
The ebook sells really well. You look each other in the eye and go, oh, hang on.
Yeah.
Next. What's next?
Yeah. So the website was next, which was more of a blogging platform. And
Kick Girls?
No, that not yet. Let's just keep it cleaner. And yeah, we were just trying to update that every month. We had subscribers on there, so girls who were interested in new recipes every month, workout every month. Comparing it now to the Kick Girls program that we have, it's quite funny to look back on, but that's just, as we said, we were just real and just trying to get anything out there that we could. And then, yeah, Kick Girls, a full program like the one we've got now is always a dream of ours, so we're so excited to be doing that.
Yeah.
And then literally within months of organising that, we were approached to by our business partners with our groceries line.
Wow.
And
hold that thought.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
That's another one.
But am I right in saying that you were blogging to the point where the blog going really well, traffic's increasing? Did you have a conversation where you go, hang on, we're giving all this away for free. Why don't we package it up into a membership
That's literally
site?
what Steph said to me. If it wasn't for Steph, I would be working for free every day of my life. I couldn't. But I think it was an important step of our business. You
100%.
can't, and I think that's what's really hard is we get a lot of messages from young girls saying, oh my God, I just want to do what you do. How do I do it? And we didn't just become successful overnight. We gave away free content for a long time and we gave people value and then they decided to invest in us. So it's not, I think you do need to give the free value before, but Steph was like, oh my God, Laura, why don't we sell these recipes? And I was like, what? Why would anyone want to buy my recipes? You're crazy.
Yeah. But, and I suppose that's just like why we try and make everything as affordable as possible. Like our program is one of the most affordable ones on the market. Our groceries are as well. That's why they're in Coles and not a health food store. And that's what we're trying to do because, again, as much as it's a business, and which is amazing, we're making money from something we love, it's not about the money for us. It's still about making a healthy lifestyle as accessible as possible. So,
just on that point, Steph, making money from something you love, many don't. Many people make money from stuff they maybe not hate, but doesn't bring them joy.
100%.
You set out, first and foremost, to share your lives and your information and your knowledge with 100% pure intention of just making others' lives better, and then a business comes, as opposed to going, let's start a business. Yeah, and that just completely
100%. I think that's been why we have been so successful is because money was not our first driver.
Yeah.
Unless you have huge capital behind you and you can copy a product straight off it and you know you're going to have more money in the bank and can do more marketing than that other business, it's very hard to just start a business.
You've got to have passion.
Oh my God, they made heaps of money from a fitness program. We'll start one because we want to make money.
Got it.
Yeah.
Do you still give away stuff for free, information for free, in order?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
We have lots of free blog posts. Our emails every week have free content in it.
Steph, how's Dad going? Any questions? I haven't let you in. Haven't had a breath.
No, you're going well. Like it's
thank you.
And you guys too. No, it's
so just to be clear, this
interesting.
podcast could work.
Yeah. Promote it on Instagram.
Yeah.
Be good.
Well, I should. I don't.
Yeah.
I do Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google+, Pinterest. I do not do Instagram for this podcast.
Yeah, but I mean, I suppose it depends on your audience. So a lot of your audience probably isn't on Instagram.
What are you saying? We're old.
Well,
you are. You are accusing. Go on,
maybe
say
you
it.
should get on because I think soon they will be.
Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, there's plenty of people who are. And I think the important thing is if you are on Instagram, if we put up a post to say, hey, go listen to this podcast, we could then tag you.
Oh, and I'd love that. And I tried to tag you on this Facebook Live. But you've got too many friends and I was too late to get your imprimatur, Laura. Okay, so now... Are we getting towards Kick Girls? Because you're selling an ebook.
That's next.
Ebook's gone really well.
Yeah.
You've gone, let's pull all this information together into a membership site. How long ago was that?
Kick Girls was last year. What month was it?
We launched in September.
Yeah.
In September last year.
That's really new.
It has been quite new.
It's really new.
Yeah. Our old website was a subscription-based website, though. I think it was, from memory, $7.99 a month for 3 recipes and 1 workout. And now we look back on that, we didn't add enough value to the customer.
No.
So we needed to do something more for them, which is where Kick Girls came from.
Which is $19.95 a month.
$19.50 a month.
And there's a new workout every single day. Breakfast, lunch and dinner recipes every single day.
A strong, healthy, happy 3 categories that you kind of contribute information to.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
Yeah, we're really proud of it.
Can you wrap some numbers around that? I'd love to understand, I don't know, what you can reveal. There's no one listening, so number of members.
We can say we have thousands of members, but we just can't reveal how
many. Say
that.
And we'll say that we've got
Thank you.
We've got members in over 24 countries, I think.
I think more now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's really cool.
That is, seriously, guys, that is something to be mighty proud of.
Thank
What
you.
do you think,
Good
Steph?
job. It's cool that you started a community because I think a lot of people, because don't you have like a Facebook group?
Yeah,
I think a
Facebook
lot
group.
of people really enjoy that. Like I'm part of a couple. I'm not part of Kick, sorry. But I'll get onto it because I saw about two of my friends last night doing the all your workouts. Like it's really
so nice.
What do you mean by that?
Oh, well, like even like one of my friends' posts I noticed last night after doing a workout, she posted like a sweaty photo of her. She's like, this is a good sign. I'm sweating. And then she like tagged you.
Thanks to Kick Girls.
Yeah,
on
thanks to Kick
sweating.
Girls.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, our Facebook community is it's definitely my favourite part of our whole program, to be
Yeah.
honest. Like, Laura and I are on it every day, checking it, writing back to people, engaging with the girls, because we're so thankful for anyone who signs up and anyone who then shares stuff on the group or asks us questions. Like, we just want to be there as much as possible for them. So it's a really beautiful group. There is some amazing girls on there. Like, it's really
How much are you spending a day inside that community? Just to be clear to listeners, you get video tutorials, you get recipes, PDFs, all that type of stuff in the program, and then off to the side is a private Facebook group.
community.
So how much are you spending
Probably
in
an
there?
hour a day.
Yeah.
It depends. It's when we have time.
Some days I just like, I got a notification, I'll just quickly write back and I'll just get it over and done with. Other days I'll schedule out like an hour where I just flick through and make sure
I had a
everything.
forum for a number of years. It's closed at the moment, but it hung heavily on me if I never responded within 24 hours to everyone, and it was part of the reason that I turned it off for a moment in time.
We do have someone.
Kick
we
Girls.
have our
Kick
Kick
Squad.
Girls squad who replies to every single comment.
Love it.
But we also try to reply to every single comment.
And if it's not me, it's Laura.
Yeah.
It's not Laura. Yeah. So
We
it's
just want them to know that we're there, we're relatable, and we're selling this to them. We never want to be people that sell this big idea or this big program and then
Just kinda
want
leave
to just
people
take
to-
the money and leave them.
Yeah.
We're definitely not about that. And I think when people sign up, we're so lucky. When people engage with us, we've sold this story, and when you sign up to Kick Girls, or if you buy our kombucha, or if you buy our bliss balls, you buy the story of Kick and this lifestyle. And so it's not just one product. It's like
How do
you're
you buy
buying
this?
into this.
I like this. How do you buy a story?
Because we've sold it, and when you buy a bliss ball, you're buying the lifestyle of Kick, which is being happy and healthy, and
Having
girls feel
balance.
empowered and
Stephanie,
happy.
do you get that? Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, cool.
No, like that makes sense. Yeah,
no, I love it.
Because
I mean,
people
we-
you want to. Well, for me personally, like I'm really into like ethics of brands and sustainability and everything. So I think that like you feel so much better when you're supporting a brand that you like believe in, especially if you guys are faces of it and you're continuing to promote that. I think that's like really important.
Brilliant. I'm not very good at maths, but based on 1,000 members, of which you have a whole lot more, that's $19,500 a month. And you could quite easily you could go back to studying, or you are studying full-time.
Yeah,
she is.
Laura.
Not full-time, but part-time.
Steph, that'd get you a business class back and forward from Bali a couple of times a month. I mean, what's your motivation to keep going? Because we're about to talk about all these other things that you've got going on.
Well, you've got to remember that there's a whole team working on the program, so there's a lot of expenses.
It costs us
Expenses.
a lot
Yeah.
to run the program.
Yeah.
Damn those
definitely.
expenses.
Yeah, damn expenses. Exactly. So it's not. We don't just get that money like that.
Okay. So, and I'm conscious you've got to go in 15 minutes, Laura.
That's okay.
Do you have to go with Laura, Steph? Or
I don't.
Okay, well, not that I'm going to keep you a whole lot longer, but
Oh God, what are they going to ask me without you?
once Laura's gone. Well, with the studio, Peter Hitchener, past guest and newsreader, is coming in here at 2:00, so we have to be out of here.
Sure.
So Kick Girls, Keep It Clean Girls is going along beautiful. By the way, that's KICgirls.com if anyone wants to go and check that out. And then, seriously, how on earth do you get into Coles?
Yes, it's that question.
How do you get before that?
Yeah.
How do you get a food lineup?
Well, it's like we both love cooking. We love healthy eating, but we know that there's a lot of people who don't love cooking but really want to eat healthy and want it to be a lot more affordable and accessible. So it's something that we've always thought of and wanted to do. We just had no idea where to start. We actually did. We partnered with a small label last year and did a little cookie bake mix of one of our favourite recipes. And it went really well and it was really fun, and that kind of made us really realise that we definitely want to have products.
And I had a protein when I was 20, a protein brand called 4Protein, which was a great product, but my business partner and I just didn't our values didn't align, so I wasn't doing that anymore. But we had developed one that we wanted to do something with it, but we just didn't have the time and the resources to do it. So that was kind of on the back burner as well. So it been in our blood, I suppose. We wanted to do it, but we were just waiting for the right time. and resources, I suppose, to do it.
And we just, our business partners now, these two guys, Jim and Tom, who are legends, approached us, and they'd been in the industry and been working with Coles for a while.
Why are they legends?
Oh, they're really easy to work with. We love working with them.
Did they find you or you found them?
They found us.
But it wasn't about actually
when they first found us,
it was about us posting for something, another product that they were doing. And it was just that when we met them, we got along so well and our values were so aligned, and they're young, they're ambitious. And I think it's with millennials, we can go two ways. We can be lazy and want a pay rise after a week, or we can be really driven and just want to work our asses off. And that's what they are like.
Yeah.
And I would like to say that's what we're like as well.
Yeah.
And Tom and
Jim,
did they find you via Instagram?
Yes, social media.
See, I love this.
They found us via social media.
The Boomerang Effect, which is the title of my book, is all about the more you put into your marketing, the more it will return multiples.
Yeah,
and it
definitely.
won't just be sales. The multiples can be connecting to
definitely.
Toms and
100%,
Jims.
100%.
These amazing things happen when we market ourselves very well.
Yeah,
Exactly.
for sure. And I suppose they asked us if it was something that we would ever be interested in doing, and we were like, yep, 100%. Is it possible? Can we do it? And then it kind of we got onto it really quickly, worked really hard all together, and made it happen unbelievably quick.
So this is a product. It's metrofoodco.com.au, which is the website, but the food range is called
Keep It Cleaner.
Keep It Cleaner.
So Metro Food Co is our registered business name, and then we have our Keep It Cleaner.
Yes.
So you've got this range of, and I speak to you yesterday, Laura, you were leaving Coles having done a sampling of, by the way, like a coconut apple cider. I mean, come on, let's just get
Coconut cider vinegar. Different to apple cider vinegar.
But so you've got you're about to have 21 SKUs in Coles.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Which is pretty amazing. And we started with 7, and that I think was with our business partners. I mean, there are a lot of people that create brands for celebrities, not that we're celebrities, but for people. But for us, the biggest thing, we are involved. And this is probably at the start, Tom and Jim thought we were the biggest pains in the bums because we are involved
so much involved
in everything. If any product comes through that we could possibly do that is not on brand for us, we will not do it. And I think that's why our products have been so successful, and that's why we've been able to do more.
What's that conversation sound like in your mind when you go, is something on brand?
Oh, well, it's just Laura and I, we wanted to make a healthy brand that was genuinely healthy. Like, you can go down a health food aisle in somewhere like Coles or Woolies, and there's a number of things there that aren't actually healthy, aren't good for you. And we know that people were fed up of going to the supermarket and doing their kind of groceries there and then going to a health food store for these other products that they believed in. And they were also really expensive. We wanted to bring that kind of quality product into a supermarket at a reasonable price.
Definitely.
So it was just about being strict on that. We didn't want to start putting things out in the market that people were going to be like, well, this is actually packed full of vegetable oils and sugars and
preservatives. And that's our buyer. We know our buyer, and our buyer is going to read the ingredients, and so we have to make sure when they do, they're happy with what they see.
Now, I've got a vegan daughter, and I get a laugh out of some of the Steph hates me saying that, but I get a laugh out of the world's changed. I mean, we just had a little
everyone's
bit of
so into health.
We had a little bit of Mexican before we came into the studio today. I noticed there was an activated charcoal and chia seed tortilla. Now, what is that about? What are some of your products? You've got Bliss Balls. You've got this apple cider
coconut cider vinegar. It's a drink, so it's a sweet drink. We've got pineapple pop and appleberry pop. Then we've got a raw protein bar, which is delicious.
I think it's one of the first, or it is the first chilled protein bar to go into the supermarket.
Right.
So it's really exciting.
We've got some gluten-free porridges. We've got some shirataki noodles. We've
sauerkraut,
kimchi.
Wow.
We've got
kombucha.
Where's it all made?
We have all different manufacturing facilities.
So that's a big business.
Yeah,
it is quite a big
You're
business.
studying.
Yeah. Just one subject.
What do you each bring to the party? You are genuinely serious business partners.
Yeah.
There's no more little eBooks and membership sites, guys. You're dealing with the biggest supermarket chain in Australia.
No, for sure.
Steph just smiles, just gone off the face.
No.
We get asked this question a lot.
Yeah.
It's really, so recently actually I did an interview and I didn't know how to answer it because I cannot explain it. It's very rare for two friends to be able to work together because number one, you're going to offend each other, and our relationship is more like I'd say like a sister relationship because if we don't like something, the other one's, we can say it and it's not going to offend the other one because they know that they care about the other person, I suppose.
100%.
And then we're like chalk and cheese. We're so different.
Very different
I
people.
can't tell you the qualities of how we are different, but we are just, if we were a puzzle, we would connect like this.
Right.
We'd have no components that were
We're
same.
very different, but we have the same ambition and goals for the business itself.
Yep.
So in that way, it works really well. But I suppose if
It's interesting that because I've seen it from two sides. I do a radio show with Steve Price, and before him and I are very different. Before I go on air with Steve, he goes on air with a fellow by the name of Andrew Bolt, and they are peas in a pod, these two, and they agree with everything.
Yeah.
Okay, and I go, and yet it's the top rating show in Australia. And I'm like, why does that work when they're always just agreeing? On the other side of that coin, when I first started, the first 80 episodes of this show I did with a fellow called Luke. And Luke is everything I'm not. It sounds like you two. Luke was very into detail. I was very into the big picture. But we had this ability to be able to tell each other, like I could say, Luke, being a bit of a dickhead, why'd you say that? You know, or he'd more often say that to me.
Yeah.
And it was great because we didn't hold a grudge.
Yes.
And we got on with it and we had a lot of success from it. And I think there's power in honouring your differences.
Yeah, for sure.
And knowing your strengths.
Definitely, and respect. I suppose we have the utmost respect for each other and trust each other. That's really important. But we also have exactly the same goal. And that's why
that's why
some people do think we're exactly the same because we have the same goal, but we're really not.
Yeah, right.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. Easy or hard work? Kick food, keep it cleaner food.
It's not easy, no way. Like, it's definitely hard work, but I suppose it's easy in the way that we're motivated 90% of the time, I'd say, because we love it so much. So there is obviously days, no matter what job you have, there's going to be days where you're like, oh, I just really can't be bothered. Even if you love your job like we do, there is those days or like it's just too much. But I think when we're just so passionate about the goal that we do have, it's a lot of hard work, but it's easy to want to do, if that makes sense.
Because we love it. And it's not a 9-to-5 job. That's when you run your own business, obviously, as you know, you don't ever stop. And the hardest thing for us, I think, is Kick Girls is the energy that and I mean, a lot of projects come to us, but you can't say yes to all of them because our main project really is Keep It Cleaner, and the energy that it takes, that we want to give to it, it requires so much energy to be on our phones replying for 1 hour a day, and we want to be there for all the girls. And that's probably the hardest thing for me personally, is some days when I'm just so tired and I can't give that energy, but I still try, and that's probably the thing for me that I find the hardest, is always giving the energy, which we try and do, but some days you just don't have it, but most days we try.
Steph, you had a question of the girls around having a manager or a mentor?
Oh, yeah. Like, so a lot of social media influencers, would you guys call yourself that? Like,
Well,
because you're obviously business women, like, too.
It's something that I've never really, never loved the word influencer. It's just because that is such a big bracket of people.
Yeah,
and we're all very different. So I suppose I like to go, if I was to introduce myself, would probably be like
ambassador,
model, entrepreneur. That kind of thing, or fitness advocate or something like that. I very rarely like to use the word influencer.
Do you have a mentor or a manager of sorts?
We have a manager.
We have a manager, and we have different we're both different with our mentors. I think we both have different people in our lives that we take different things from when we need certain types of energy from different people.
That's nice.
We'll take that. We work with Boost when we launched Kick Girls, which was fantastic, and Janine,
she was insane.
Alice was fantastic.
Yeah,
she's really cool
so
for us.
good.
How?
She's I suppose that was a really good example of how we both added shared value. So we helped them access our market, and then they helped us access, I suppose, their database, and that worked really, really well. But Janine, I really look up to because her husband and herself are in business together. It's very rare for a husband and wife to be able to work together. But their relationship, and in her book she talks about it, reminds me of Steph and myself's relationship, because they just work because their personalities are quite different, but they come together perfectly. So that's why I really like Janine, because I really
that's a good
can
pickup
relate
to
to
have
her.
her as a mentor.
Oh, it was amazing.
She's amazing.
The day that we sat down, we thought we were just kind of saying hello to her and like being really excited about the partnership and everything.
She
and then
didn't.
No, she sat down, told her, like, she was like, all right, so do you have any questions? Well, now, tell me about this, tell me about that. And she just basically sat down with us
Sign
for an hour
here.
and literally gave us like an hour of business advice. And
which was
Laura's
invaluable.
jaw was on the floor. Like,
I started crying.
Yeah.
Did you really?
Excited,
Why?
I could not believe we were in the room with Janine Alice getting business advice from her.
Yeah, it was insane.
I never thought that.
The best part was when we
Good on you,
asked
Laura.
if we.
I love a bit of tearing up.
I think one of the best parts was when we asked if we went onto Shark Tank, would she bite? And she said yes.
Yeah.
I'm conscious you've got to go, Laura.
Yes, I've got 5
we're going to
minutes.
keep recording. We are going to have a little break, though, because
Sure.
I just want to get a photo of all of us before
Sure.
we leave.
Yeah, no problem.
And then we will continue, Steph, because I've got a couple of probing questions for you. Well, not really that probing.
Let's just keep the listeners interested.
Yeah, it's more about Laura. But Laura, anything you want to leave us with?
No, I think that's
I think we're pretty well covered. I mean, I think you're doing a great job, and
Thank
to be
you.
full-time studying law and doing
Not full-time, part-time.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay. Well, then I don't think you're doing a great job. Pretty weak, actually. Put in. Let's take a photo. Now, we are back. Photos are taken, a few selfies that we'll put on to the show notes for this episode. Laura has left us, so we are left with 2 Stephanies. My daughter, Stephanie. How you going, Steph?
I'm good.
More importantly, how's your dad going?
Yeah, you're doing really well.
Okay. I'm sure you'll tell me once it's all over the truth. And Stephanie Claire-Smith, Instagrammer, come entrepreneur, so many things going on, eBooks, membership sites, a range of food in Coles supermarkets. But for you, Steph, it does not stop there, does it? Does it?
No, it
Where
doesn't.
do we go with this? Just to be like the overview, sunglasses brand, bikini brand, ambassador for Bondi Sands and Clinique.
Yep. So, I'll speak about the ambassador roles first because they were the first things that came up. So originally I was modelling full time, and that was my full-time job. Instagram was just kind of my thing I posted on the side. And Bondi Sands was one of my first clients that signed me as an ambassador in the face of the brand, which at the time I was in my first year of modelling. I was like so unbelievably excited because I just never thought that would ever happen. So that happened then, and it's continued to happen.
And is that a
till
social
now.
media ambassador?
Yeah, but I face all their major campaigns.
Gotcha.
So, I'm just kind of the face of the brand, which is really cool.
Tanning salon.
It's a tanning...
Like label.
Yeah. So
it's like well-known Australian. Like.
Right, what we dad know.
Yeah.
And they're pretty big in the UK and everything now, so it's really exciting. And it's awesome to be part of that family. They're doing such a great job. Clinique came on about 2 years ago, started working with them, and I've been signed with them for almost 2 years now, and they're just awesome to work with.
Again, ambassador, like social media?
That's more socially, for sure. We have done a few little shoots, but it's more social ambassador, and I'm an ambassador for the Australian side of Clinique, so I'll go to a lot of the events that they have for new products and stuff like that, and which is really cool. But, yeah, those kind of roles... Again, as I said before when we were talking about posting, I have to really be interested and really love a brand to sign on to someone like that. Like just recently last year I was signed with Adidas for a year, and that was really exciting for me because for the year before that I'd been working with them quite a lot and I love the brand. Who doesn't love Adidas? But to be signed with them was insanely exciting for me. So that was really, really cool. But there's been things that have been offered to me to sign exclusively, but if you don't love it or believe in it, I couldn't. I just couldn't do that.
Right, absolutely. So I imagine the ambassador roles, they would be, I'm going to say a dime a dozen, but they would be coming through frequently for given what you're doing. No? Not
yes
so much?
and no, because the thing is because I've been with Bondi Sands for over 5 years now, Clinique now for a couple of years, and obviously Adidas has just ended, unfortunately. It's one of those...
What did you do?
Oh, no, nothing. It was just one of those
Caught
things.
wearing a bit of Puma?
No. It was just
Maybe
one of
some
those
sketches.
things.
Were you wearing sketches?
No, certainly not. No, it's just one of those things. Like it was good, but they've just decided to go a different way. A lot of the ambassadors have changed from last year. So I suppose it's one of those things like a brand. I couldn't be an ambassador for 10 different brands. Of
course.
That wouldn't work.
Well, that brings the point. How do you choose what to do? Because, Soda Shade Sunnies, which you have with your boyfriend.
Yeah.
You've got Midnight Co. bikinis.
Which is with his brother, Ethan. Yeah.
That's weird.
Well,
is that weird?
No.
So is that weird?
No.
Having a bikini brand with your boyfriend's younger brother?
Oh, that's so funny.
Steve, you think he's a little bit weird?
No, I suppose the reason why is because Ethan actually started his own
bikini brand?
menswear label.
Mankini?
4 years ago, and it was nothing to do with bikinis. And then he started doing women's wear, and he got me on board then because he wanted like a woman's point of view and what I wanted to wear or whatever. So I started to come on board then, and then we started to make bikinis together because something I really wanted to do because I wear them all the time. And so I was just basically making what I kind of wanted to wear, literally. And it started to work really well. So we got rid of all the clothing and we've partnered together to just keep it as just swimwear. So it just works really well. He's one of my best friends. I've known the family for 12 years, so it's not as weird as it seems when I first said it.
I don't think. Yeah.
Bit of a serious question. What happens if all that goes pear-shaped?
The what? Our relationship?
Yes.
In all seriousness, I don't think it would really make a difference, to be honest, because I've been very close with his family before we were even together, and his little sister is a little sister to me, and Ethan's, as I said, he's one of my best friends. So I think if we were to ever break up, it's one of those things that it wouldn't affect my relationship with the others. It's just we're too strong in our bond. And also I can't see us breaking up. I'm still waiting for that ring. So
hopefully he listens to the show.
Come in, champ. He's just out the front.
Yeah, no.
He wanted to do it. He wanted to do it on air. I think the big question here is how do you juggle all this? Because there are business owners listening who own a business.
Yeah.
A vet who
sure.
has some staff.
Yeah.
A plumber who has some stuff. Right? And that's hard.
Yeah.
You, and albeit, maybe I'm stereotyping here, but young, not single, but no kids. Mm-hmm. I'm guessing not a lot of debt. Maybe business debt. There's less pressure. I mean, as a 50-year-old bloke, I just go, you just got less pressure. So you can have all those balls in the air. Yeah. If some hit the ground, bad luck, or am I being unfair?
Well, last year, Josh and I, actually a year and a half ago, we bought a house, so we have got quite a bit of debt. So, there is risk, 100%. Okay. But I suppose...
And you got a dog, Ari.
Yeah, we got a beautiful dog. But the whole thing about balancing it all, or like how am I doing it, I have amazing teams in each of those businesses. It's not just me. So obviously if it was just me, there's no way I could keep them all afloat. But my part of my big thing that I bring to the table, obviously other than design ideas and my own personal input and emotion and all that sort of stuff, it's a lot of it's marketing, it's getting it in people's hands, it's getting people wearing it. And then there is obviously other parts where I am in the back side of it as well, but my business partners do most of the back end of stuff. So it's really them that help keep it afloat. There's no way I could run all these businesses by myself.
I'm interested in, marketing of sunnies and bikinis. Mm-hmm. Are you still relying on Instagram, or what's the most effective marketing you can do for both of those products?
Well, for now, we see the most return in Instagram, for sure.
And what does the line between posting on Instagram to getting a sale look like? Is it a real zigzag up and down, or is it a straight line? We post, we sell.
It's pretty straightforward. Like, we can look at what we sell every day and we have a nice steady number, and then if I post or if we get someone else who's got a following posts, we do see a very big spark. So it's pretty straight line. But in saying that, because we have buyers from all over the world, like some people don't see the post till 10, 15 hours later or even the next day. So sales can go like that. And as you know, you might see something that someone posts about and you might really want it, but you're not going to go and buy it straight away.
Yeah.
You might buy it later in the week. Yeah.
Save it on Instagram.
Yeah. So that happens too.
Do you reach out to other, influencers or Instagrammers or YouTubers with your own products too?
For sure. Yeah. I mean, the thing is I've made quite a lot of friends through Instagram, funnily enough. And I support them as much as they support me. So I've got girlfriends who I post all the time for free for, and I'm happy to support because I love doing that. I mean, knowing how much hard work comes into a business, I'm happy to support someone if I can, and they end up doing the same. So I am lucky to have that for sure. And
What do you find particularly difficult in all of this, putting all the different brands and commitments and ambassadorships you have? What really freaks you out?
I suppose the most difficult part about it all is, and it happened at the start of the year, where it all got a little bit too much. I couldn't switch off, and I felt bad if I switched off. So if I got home from work and I wanted to sit down on the couch for half an hour, I felt bad. I felt like I should be doing emails, or I should be on the Kick Girls community, or filming a YouTube video. Like I felt like that my time was being wasted. I couldn't sleep in anymore. Like it was just, I wasn't sleeping because I would go into bed and all these ideas would start coming up in my mind. I just wasn't switching off. And when there is so many things going on, it's really hard to. And then particularly when a lot of it is online, you're consumed in being on your computer and your phone. So
what'd you do?
Well, I get acupuncture, which I love, and I cried for about an hour talking to him about it and had acupuncture, and he reminded me of something that I used to love doing, which was going on walks. So I've never been big on meditation. Ever since a kid, I'm a fidgeter. I just need to be doing something. But walking for me, I used to do it 5 times a week, even if it was just for 20 minutes or whatever, but I was by myself or with my dog, and I just kind of switched off. And honestly, just bringing that back into routine has helped me so much. And also, we went up to the river where we have a holiday house, the Murray River, and we went up there midweek, Josh and I, just for 2 days and didn't do much work at all. And it was so great because the thing about our jobs is when you have your own business, it's, as Laura said, it's not a 9 to 5. You're working Saturdays and Sundays as well. And there is also events on all the time at nights, whether that's during the week or on the weekend. So it's really hard to find those days to switch off. So I think we've just together made a conscious decision to make sure we do plan those days or those hours in the day where we do switch off. And
there's not another product surely coming up on behind everything else you're doing, is there?
Not that
You're
I know
kind
of.
of bedding stuff down right now. And,
Yeah, for sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
you sure? Look me in the eye.
No, for
You're
sure.
not launching something big tomorrow.
Because the thing
or...
is I never ever want to get to that point where I'm flooding my Instagram to people like Steph of just nonstop. Oh, here's another product. Here's this or here's do that. So that's why I've signed on with the people that I have signed on that I'm happy to post for, and then the people I post the most for is like Keep It Cleaner or like my businesses, because obviously I'm so passionate and I want them to go really well. So then the posts, the other stuff, the other brands that pop up, that's just every now and again. If I said yes to everything, there'd be like 10 posts a day of a branded post. And I don't want, I don't want that as much as I know that my followers don't want that. I don't even want to do that. So,
Daughter Stephanie,
Yeah.
I'm done. I'm inspired. I'm a bit clearer on Instagram. I feel like probably I'm going to add to my to-do list, add Instagram as a channel to promote my podcast and in a real way, not in a like, another episode coming out. Got to figure out what those posts are going to look like. But Steph, can I leave the closing words to you? Can I put you on the spot?
Yeah.
And, you can make a motivational speech or you can just high five Steph. I don't care what you do. But
the listeners won't see the high
they
five.
will. They'll hear it.
Okay.
But what do you got?
Who do you think everyone should follow on Instagram?
Really? Me? Oh, no.
Besides yourself.
Yeah.
Like, who do you love seeing?
completely out of what I do.
Yeah.
Celeste Barber, I think.
Oh my goodness, I love her.
Funniest.
I've tried to get you onto her. Wait, do you?
No.
I look forward to her post every single day. Sorry.
No, she's
hilarious.
She's great, and she's just
She puts everything into perspective.
basically she's I suppose she's an Australian comedian.
Yeah, she is. She was on the. Was she on the project?
I think so. Yeah, she's got
Right.
quite a lot of media lately, but
So she's funny, keeps it real.
She does keep it real, and the way she does that is she gets photos of supermodels or videos of supermodels.
yes, same pose.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
she'll do the
Yes.
same pose, and she gets her husband involved and stuff, and it's really funny.
So that's a clever idea, and there is a learning there. That's a great question, Steph, because the learning is like come up with an original idea.
For sure.
So what she's doing is
Yeah.
she's finding poses from models, very serious models, and she's doing it, and she doesn't have the same body shape.
Yeah.
But it's clever.
Yeah, it is.
And it's
It is.
funny, and
Yeah.
I get that.
But it's in a way that's not annoying. It's not like she's not putting herself, because like some comedians, like what's that? Oh, I know you really love it, Amy.
Why not?
I know. Schumer. She can be a bit too like,
She's
I really hate my body, and sometimes it can just be a bit too much. But Celeste, on the other hand,
She's
is
fun.
just so she's just so good.
Good on you.
Yeah.
Hey, Stephanie Claire-Smith, well done.
Thank
I mean,
you.
seriously, that's what
Thanks.
you are. What this show's all about. You and
you.
Laura,
Yeah.
having a crack. Having courage,
Yeah.
massive amount of courage. I don't know
Yeah.
whether you recognise how much courage you guys are displaying in making decisions, saying no
Yeah.
as much as you're saying yes,
Yeah.
and probably making a real difference to the lives of people like Steph and others who are kind of out there trying to have a crack, you know.
Yeah,
So thank you for coming in and sharing.
No,
I actually have one more question.
Oh, good.
Well, you've achieved so much.
Yeah, thanks.
And you're so young.
Thank you.
And, you can obviously own that. But what else, can you achieve, or do you want? Are there bigger goals?
Yeah. Yeah, okay. So I suppose the reason why I push so hard now and I'm trying to work really hard now and do everything now is I've always had this dream of being a young mum.
Oh, okay. No, that's...
So,
yeah,
literally within 3 or 4 years, I want to start trying to have a kid.
Get the ring out, buddy.
Exactly. No. So I just suppose I've always dreamed to be one of those mums that may have a business running on the side where I can run it from home or be I want to be one of those mums that's with the kids a lot. So to be able to, we want to do more property investment and stuff like that, and that's what we're really building towards for the next 5 years. So if we get all that underway and all this hard work, that's what I want it to pay off for, is just a beautiful family, nice, relaxing life for the rest of my life.
Yeah, no,
that's kind of my biggest goal, to be
yeah.
honest. Other than obvious little business goals in the meantime. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's really nice.
Have you been inspired, Steph?
Yeah, definitely.
You leave school and go and do
No, don't leave school. Well, I finished school.
I'm in year 12.
No, I definitely
Did you
finished school.
what were you doing in year 12? Oh,
Yeah, let's just continue this.
No, well, what we might do, we might finish right now, but you guys can continue the comment. Keep talking amongst yourselves. I'll just, hey guys, I think we've finished, and absolutely inspired. Go to kickgirls.com.
Thank you.
Go to metrofoodco.com.au and tell them Timbo sent you. Bye.
Yes, that's good.
Well, there you go, team. Kick Girls, that's KIC. Keep It Cleaner Girls, Steph Claire-Smith and Laura Henshaw. Well, if you needed proof that the world of small business has changed forever, then that is it right there. What an amazing journey those two are on. Hey, did you enjoy my daughter Stephanie's involvement? I certainly did. Thanks, Steph. Mwah! Love you. Hang around after I share my top 3 attention grabbers from that chat with the girls, as we'll hear from and reward a couple of motivated listeners who share what they've learned from this show and how it's impacted their business. But right now, my top 3 attention grabbers from that chat with Steph and Claire, thanks to American Express. Attention grabber number 1. Focus on engagement, not followers. That's a great social media tip. And it would seem the best way to do this is to follow the theory of tell, don't sell. So tell stories about you and your business and the brands that you sell, as opposed to just overtly selling your business or your brands. Got it? We've talked about storytelling a lot. Attention grabber number 2. I loved how, when they realised their followers wanted more of them, they created and sold a simple eBook, despite the fact that the eBook included a photo of some slimy banana bread. That's cool. Minimum viable product, guys. Get it out there. Fix it later. And attention grabber number 3, I love how they are crystal clear on their brand and what it stands for. I mean, it was a pretty gutsy move for Stephanie to say no to that diet tea brand, given the amount of coin they were offering for a simple post. However, taking a long-term view, I think they've made a very, very good decision. Protect your brand at all costs. Well, they're my top 3 attention grabbers. You'll find links to everything they're involved with, including the video of that interview, which we did on Facebook Live, over at smallbusinessbigmarketing.com/414.
Come on down. It's Timbo's Monster Prize Draw.
I love this segment. I love it for 2 reasons. We get to hear what's working from you, the listener, and I get to give away some prizes donated by generous past guests to you, the listener. To enter, it's really, really simple. You just got to email me, tim@timreid, reid.com.au. Tell me what idea you've implemented from listening to this show and what impact it's had on your business. That's all I want to hear. If I read it out on air, you win a prize or 2 and you go into the draw to win a hot lap in a Porsche with past guest and racing car legend Steve Richards. That's valued at $2,500. Simple. Righto, let's find out who today's winners are. The first one is Robert Cagalj, Cagalj. He says, "G'day, Timbo." Okay, Robert. First, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you for your podcast. You're welcome. I've been an avid listener for a few years and am always looking for ways to implement my learnings into my businesses. Your content and interviews have always been helpful, motivational and inspiring. Thanks, mate. We recently implemented a customer support page to be more helpful to our customers. Our next marketing to do is add instructional and helpful videos to our website, linking to our currently empty YouTube channel. Hey. Don't have an empty anything. Start putting videos on there, Robert, immediately. It doesn't look good if people go to a social media platform that you're on and it's sort of empty. Back to Robert's note, he says, it's all about providing helpful content. Correct, which works well for me as I'm not a salesperson by nature. I just find marketing more fun and creative than sales. And I blame this on you, Timbo. Well, they kind of work hand in hand. Marketing's very good at generating inquiry for the salesperson to then convert into a sale. Back to Robert, in keeping with being helpful, I would like to share a learning which helped me, and that's to make sure you hold on to your nuggets. Take that one of two ways. Listening to your show is full of nuggets, but the problem is we get sidetracked with life and business and forget to implement. A simple prioritised marketing to-do list is a great help. Brilliant. Often the simple things are. P.S. I'm on to my third bottle of 4 Pillars gin. Is that bad? And have an Orbit key, all thanks to your show. If you ever want to get back on your bike and ride down Beach Road, just let me know. Thanks again, Timbo. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Robert. For your trouble, you have won a 6-pack of Mr. Lee's noodles valued at $30 and a box of 8 canisters from the Good Crisp Company valued at $30, plus 2 Amex lounge passes for Melbourne or Sydney international airports, the Amex lounge there, valued at $66. Got to love that. Well done, Robert. All right, our second winner for this week is Hans Daniels. He says, hey, Tim. Hey, Hans. Love your show. Focusing on marketing all day, every day has helped my wedding DJ business in Atlanta grow from $50,000 to $500,000 a year. Wow. And a huge shout out to you, sir. Well, I'm speechless already, which is very difficult to get me to be speechless, as you've long-time listener would know. Small Business Big Marketing is my weekly shot of adrenaline that keeps me focused on what's most important, and that's marketing. One of my favourite marketing ideas from the show was from guest Steve Sims of Bluefish, where he rips out pages of airline magazines, circles silly things with a big marker, and sends them to clients to demonstrate that he's thinking about them. This is brilliant. Yes, I agree with that. It was a very popular episode. I don't fly much, so instead of airline magazines, I just print interesting pages off the internet, circle with a big marker, write a note on the back and mail to wedding planners around the area. Genius. When they have a client in need of a crazy DJ, guess who they think of? Cool handwritten snail mail always makes people smile and has a 100% open rate. Keep up the good work, Timbo. Cheers, Hans Daniels. Hans, genius, mate. You are onto it. You've listened, you've implemented, and you've benefited. 50 grand to 500 grand. That's just fantastic. Hans, you have won a Hunting for George voucher valued at $100. You can buy some interior furnishings or things for your home, and I'm sure they'll post it to you over in Atlanta. That is the Small Business Big Marketing Monster Prize draw for another week. Send me your entry. Whew, yeah, that was a big show. We cover some serious marketing ground, don't we? Previously, we've caught up with celebrity personal trainer Michelle Bridges, who took us behind the scenes of a hugely successful 12-week body challenge. And do you remember that chat we had with TEDx Melbourne founder John Yo? If you think you've got a TED Talk in you, then take a listen to that interview as John reveals exactly what it takes. You'll find those episodes plus hundreds more over at smallbusinessbigmarketing.com, or you can subscribe free on your favourite podcast app, which means you'll never miss another episode. Love to hear from you. Hit the contact button over at smallbusinessbigmarketing.com, where you can email me, you can connect with me on social media, and grab a signed copy of my book, The Boomerang Effect. A big thanks to American Express Business Explorer card for exclusively sponsoring this episode. If you love the idea of your business expenses rewarding you, then search Amex Business and you'll find out exactly what you need to know. Speaking of love, if you love the Small Business Big Marketing Show, then let another business owner or 5 know about it by grabbing their phones and downloading it for them. Until next week, I'm Timbo Reid. Thanks for tuning in. May your marketing be the best marketing. Bye for now.